Welcome to Global Proving Ground Arkansas 3, brought to you by AA Productions. You're here in Paragould, Arkansas. We're here for our third event in a row. We're very excited about a full card of amateur and professional fights. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Good evening from the BC Lloyd Building on the Greene County Fairgrounds, and welcome into another special presentation of Ritter Communication. Tonight, it's AA Productions teaming back up with Global Proving Grounds to bring you Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 3. Andy Maness here alongside Aaron Hathcock. And Aaron, tonight we've got 9 fights, including 2 fights featuring international fighters. So should have a pretty good card on our hands tonight.
Andy, I can't believe the whole international flavor that tonight's card has on it. 9 fights, and they all look to be exciting fights. I hope that we can see the kind of excitement we've seen our last few trips to the BC Lloyd Building.
Absolutely, and one of our fights tonight, as a matter of fact, is featuring a fighter who was in our last card here at the BC Lloyd Building. And he's actually fighting again first tonight. We'll tell you all about that a little bit later on in the program. 3 judges tonight: David Dyer, Wes Kraft, and John Webb. Aaron, what are these judges going to be looking for during tonight's fights?
The judges all sit outside of the ring, and they score the fight on what's called a 10-point must system, Andy. And what that means is the winner of each round is awarded 10 points. The loser of the round is awarded 9 points or less, depending on what the judges deem how his performance was in the round. And they award points based on each fighter's effectiveness in striking and grappling and control of the cage and aggressiveness. Well,
as usual, let's go over some of the do's and don'ts in mixed martial arts fighting. We'd like to do this before the fights, just to let people at home know what some of these fighters aren't allowed to do, because obviously it's not just street fighting these guys are in the octagon doing.
Absolutely not. These guys are here representing their base martial art, whatever that may be, even if it's wrestling. And, respect and honor, as we talked about last time, are big credos that these guys follow. But there are illegal moves in MMA, Andy, and they consist of: there's no headbutting, no eye gouging, no biting, no strikes to the groin, no finger and toe manipulation, no strikes either to the throat or the back of the head. And in our first 6 fights tonight, what we'll see is it will be illegal to hit your opponent in the head with a knee or with a kick while your opponent is grounded. And that means that any part of his body besides his feet that are touching the canvas makes him grounded. So you could be bent over and have one hand touching the canvas, and you would be grounded. But in our last 4 fights tonight, elbows and knees to the head will be legal moves.
All right, well, certainly something our referee tonight, John Munns, is going to be keeping an eye on. And we're going to go ahead and step aside for our first break of this evening. When we come back, we'll have our pre-fight festivities as we usually do. Send it down to our ring announcer, and he will announce our first fighters of the evening. We'll go over the card when we get back here on Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 3 on Ritter Communications Tubetown, Channel 21.
You hear the haters, baby. You hear the haters. He has him hooked. Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to come in the ring. I'm going to show you what the TCW champion do.
Yes! Big tackle. Nobody pulls the plug on Alan Steele.
He's saying that's it.
This is too much.
Steel trap. He's trapped. The steel trap.
Welcome back to Cage Combat Championship 3. Andy and Aaron Hathcock here with you. And we're getting ready to send it down to our ring announcer, Billy Lamb, to introduce our first fight on tonight's card. It'll be Will Jackson and Dustin Brawley, and Will Jackson makes his way down to the ring right now. We'll send it down to Billy Lamb momentarily.
Get loud for Will Jackson! And his opponent fighting out of the red corner from Kicks Martial Arts. This is Dustin Brawley.
All right, set for our first fight of the night. In the blue corner, Will Jackson taking on Dustin Brawley in the red corner. And if you caught our pre-fight commentary, we told you that one of our fighters tonight actually was featured on our last fight's card, and it was out of the red corner, Dustin Brawley, wearing the black trunks with red trim.
And I would imagine, Andy, that Dustin's hoping that the outcome of this fight is a little different than the last fight.
Absolutely, and he starts off.
Jackson comes right out, and Brawley tries to take him down and goes across the ring twice and actually does take him right down, and he's got side control.
Brawley wasted no time whatsoever, as Aaron mentioned, with the side control now after a nice slam, nice takedown. It looked like Jackson was going to do a pretty good job on the sprawl there and block that takedown, but wasn't able to get away from the strength there of Brawley, and now he's feeling the effects of it.
They're both being very active on the ground, but that was a great way to counter that sprawl from Will Jackson by Dustin Brawley.
Brawley now with some knees to the midsection of Jackson. Jackson doing a good job of keeping him from letting him slip past that guard and into full mount. He wants to keep him right there. And
there he was. It was a great pass right there. He pushed his leg down, stepped over, and passed right into the full mount.
And Brawley now.
And he looks like he may be trying to get around and get an arm in triangle.
Exactly what it looks like. We'll see if our referee, John Munns, is going to get up and move him soon, though. Got to stay busy, and there you see Brawley staying a little more active there with his left hand.
And I think what Dustin Brawley wants to do is try to work his body up a little more and take that right arm of Will Jackson and push it even closer up by his head. And then Brawley wants to lock his arms together and try to get that submission from Jackson.
And still staying busy on top is Brawley, throwing lefts to the body. Nice reversal there, though, from Jackson.
That was a nice sweep to get back on top, and now he's in the full guard of Brawley. We'll see how Brawley can handle it. And Brawley sweeps right back over.
Now
That's
Brawley
nice.
in full mount, throwing blows.
Jackson's going to have to not turtle up. He's going to have to do something to defend himself.
Jackson gave up his back, and Brawley's not slowing down.
Brawley's going to the ribs.
And Munns is going to do something to stop this if he doesn't start to see some signs
I think
of
it
defense.
looks like Munns.
There it was.
And Munns stops it. I started to say, it looked like Munns was saying you've got to defend yourself and be active. And Will Jackson wasn't able to defend himself, and Brawley won by TKO.
At the 1 minute, 58-second mark in round number one, Dustin Brawley is our winner of the first fight of the night. We're going to send it down to Aaron Hathcock momentarily for a word with Dustin Brawley.
And your winner from the red corner, Dustin Brawley!
All right, everybody, let's get a quick word with our winner, Dustin Brawley. What a way to start the night, Dustin. A lot of good action. You rolled it back on top and got him with all the strikes. Was that what you wanted to do when you came in tonight?
Yes, sir. That was my game plan.
All right, man. Well, we wish you luck and congratulations and good luck in the future, all right? Give it up for Dustin Brawley, everybody.
And Hathcock with our winner, Dustin Brawley. Winner in the first round via TKO at the 1 minute 58-second mark. Getting set for our second fight of the evening. We're going to step away for a quick break. When we come back, we'll have Tim S. fighting Bo Hoboken. It's coming up next on Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 3. Andy Manis and Aaron Hathcock back here in the octagon. Actually, we're not in the octagon. If we were, we'd probably get beat up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a hexagon.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 6 sides.
That one?
Yeah, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I was never any good at geometry.
The
That's why
UFC
I do what I do now.
is the only place that can have an octagon.
Ah.
Bellator has a circle.
Well, thank you for educating me.
They have it trademarked, actually, where nobody else can do an octagon.
Well, the more you know.
Like Invicta does like a decagon with 10 sides.
Well, we learn things every day.
I try, man. I try to spread the knowledge and the love about MMA.
That's what we do here on Tubetown
That's
Channel
how
21.
I roll.
Entering the ring now, he'll be fighting out of the red corner, Bo Hoboken. He's got the gray trunks on. In the ring already, Tim Est is going to be his opponent. Getting fixed up by our cut girl right now.
She's applying that Vaseline
to the face.
Maybe to minimize the ability for a fighter to get cut by another fighter's punches or elbows. Which this fight, as we said in the opening, elbows to the head are illegal.
That's right.
But we will see legal elbows later tonight, I believe.
Well, we'll send it down to Billy Lamb for the announcement of our fighters. Seems our ring announcer lost his microphone there, so I'll announce him as he does in the red corner. Bo Hoboken fighting with the gray trunks as the fighters meet in the center of the hexagon.
We had a battery casualty on the wireless microphone. Hopefully Billy Lamb didn't strain himself yelling to the crowd.
Hopefully not.
He put a lot of effort into that announcement, so kudos to Billy.
Tim Est is going to be Hoboken's opponent tonight. He's fighting out of the blue corner wearing the black trunks with a red trim and the customary bow. As is usual here at Global Proving Grounds, the fighters touch gloves, and here we go with round number 1. Body kick starting off for Est, and now Est is wrapped up. And
he attempted a throw.
He did not succeed, but Hoboken
takes Est down and then gets caught up where Est is in his guard now.
Well, Est did a nice job reversing there on Hoboken. Hoboken was able to, as you said, to get in a good position there on top.
And now and it looked like Est tried to transition to a different position, and Hoboken was able to roll him over.
Well, I was going to say, Aaron, it looks like both fighters exhibiting great wrestling skills here in the opening minute of the round.
Definitely they are showing off their ground prowess, Andy.
And
then they both stood right back up.
Nice knee there by Est. Big shot misses.
I believe that got Hoboken in the chest.
Oh, and Est almost got caught, and he did get caught in the headlock.
That was an interesting
guillotine.
Est looked like he sort of ran his shoulder into Hoboken, and Hoboken looks like he may be trying to get a guillotine.
I don't think he's going to be able to get the leverage.
I don't think he's got his arm all the way around.
He's not going to be able to get the leverage in there, but
right,
it was a good catch,
There's a great shot right there, Andy, where Est has his chin tucked and Hoboken cannot get his arm all the way around under his chin.
Well, it was a great attempt because, as you said, it looked like Est just sort of ducked his head and ran right into it. And now Est is out of harm's way for the time being. About 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining here in round number 1. 3 3-minute rounds here for the opening fights tonight.
A lot of haymaker punches being thrown when these guys are on their feet. There's a kick from Est.
There was a big left-handed haymaker from Est right as you said that. And there's another one. A
front kick. If this fight goes to the second and third round, I believe we're going to see how good these guys have been working on their cardio.
No doubt about it.
Fight,
no
Andy.
doubt about it. And right now, Est is breathing with his mouth open. And as a fighter, that's something you never want to do because it just, you get caught on the jaw there, and it's lights out.
And it's possible. Hard to see.
Oh,
what
nice
a throw.
slam and an overhand punch to the head of Hoboken.
And another throw. That's sort of a judo-esque throw.
That was, absolutely.
He may have been taking notes from Ronda Rousey on that
one.
one.
But a nice reversal there by Hoboken. He almost had a scissor lock there.
That was a great way to turn that into his advantage by Hoboken.
Both
Hoboken
of
tries
these
to
fighters,
take Est back.
He could have a rear naked choke here, but it looks like Est
turned back over and decided I'd take the lesser of two evils and I'll be in his guard.
Both of these fighters' wrestling skills are outstanding.
And as I started to say earlier, Andy, one of those wild haymakers that Hoboken threw may have caught Est in the nose. He may have some swelling and may not be able to breathe through his nose, and that may be why we see him breathing through his mouth. It's hard to say.
Est is
as
staying
we approach
busy.
The end of the first round.
Staying busy on top here as he works his way up Hoboken's body, and
Est
now he gave up his
back
up again, and Hoboken could have a rear naked locked in here. He's got 5 seconds to pull it off.
There we go.
There's the bell. A little off there on our time here, but exciting first round there.
Definitely very active, Andy.
Nice applause here from the crowd for these two fighters.
Honestly, as both these guys, as I watch them walk back to their corners, neither one of them looks that much worse for wear. Hoboken's leaning on the fence, but that may just be he's being casual. Maybe he's trying to send a message to Est. That's a tough round to score,
I was just about to ask you, in the judges' minds, where would this fight be at this point? I mean,
honestly,
round, both fighters got their fair share of reversals in that round.
That's right. And there was a lot of control by Est, but we saw 3 good takedowns and throws by Est, and I really think I'm going to give that round to him 10-9. But as we have said many, many times, I am not a judge.
Getting ready for round number 2 here.
All right.
Tim Est fighting out of the blue
corner. Let's see if we have the same kind of round, or if these guys, either one of them, change their strategy based on what their corners told them.
And here we go with round number 2.
Touch gloves as we start.
Nice show of respect between these two fighters now.
Oh!
Spinning back fist!
I believe that may be the end of it.
Lights
out!
Tim Est with a spinning back fist. And it is night-night for Bo Hoboken.
And Bo Hoboken may not know exactly what town he's in.
Well, it's not Hoboken, New Jersey, that's for sure.
I don't know if you could convince him of that right at this moment.
Unbelievable. Tim Est with the back fist. That came out of nowhere.
Wow. What a finish of that round.
Unbelievable. 8 seconds gone by in the second round, and we've got our second knockout of the night. Unbelievable. We're going to send it down to our ring announcer, Billy Lamb, to announce our winner, Tim Est, and then we'll send it down to Aaron Hathcock. He'll have a word with the winner of our second fight.
And your winner, in the blue corner, Tim East.
All right, everybody, let's talk to our winner, Tim East. Well, that was definitely an exciting way to finish the fight. Did you talk about that between rounds and decide that maybe you could sneak that in, or did you just see an opportunity?
Well, we decided he couldn't handle my stand-up. He wanted to get me on the ground, so I knew I was going to have to pound on him a little bit. I knew if I get this spinning hook, he'd be out.
Well, you guys spent a lot of the first round on the ground, and then to change it up and decide you'd attack him like that in the beginning of the second, that definitely seemed to be a good strategy. Man, that was a great way to finish the fight. Everybody give it up for Tim East.
All right, Aaron Hathcock with our winner, Tim East. Sorry for the mispronunciation of his name there. I want to make him mad. Might catch a spinning back fist. Getting ready for our third fight of the evening. Caleb Linhart. He'll be taking on Bradley Sykes. That's coming up next right here on Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Ground 3. Andy Manus and Aaron Hathcock back here in Paragould for Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Ground 3. We're outside the hexagon. It's not an octagon. There's 6 sides of this puppy. As Bradley Sykes walks his way to the ring, fighting out of the red corner. His opponent tonight in the blue corner, already in the hexagon tonight, Caleb Linhart. Fighters being touched up by our cut girl right now.
It's not every night you get MMA and geometry, Andy.
That's true. That's true. Learn a little bit of everything here when you watch Tubetown Channel 21. The more you know. We're an educational channel.
That's right.
That's what we do. Both fighters in the hexagon now. And something that we haven't talked about yet, the fighters bow before they make their way to their respective corners to begin the fight. Before they're introduced, they bow. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. We'll send it down to Billy Lamb to announce our fighters for our third fight.
All right, introducing first in the blue corner, this is Caleb Linhart. And his opponent in the red corner from Kicks Martial Arts, Bradley Sykes.
All right, fighters come up. You'll see them bow. And it's customary for Global Proving Ground.
It is a show of respect, you know, keeping with the traditions of martial arts, which is where mixed martial arts come from. They typically bow to each other, bow to the ref, as they just did. And Andy, I appreciate that so much when they do that because it pays homage to so many things.
Well, I
your
mean,
respect for your opponent, your respect for the
say.
officials, and your respect for the sport of mixed martial arts.
Fighting should be all about
It's a pretty
respect.
good left right there by Leonard.
Caleb Linhart is in the black trunks with the white trim. He is on top right now. Nice reversal there by Sykes.
Sykes swept that and did that very nicely when he was at a disadvantage because he was under the full mount of Caleb Linhart.
Sykes is in the black trunks without the white trim. He is on top right now. Linhart trying to do a good job of keeping him out of a more advantageous position. Doing a good job fighting it off from his back. Now side control for Sykes. We'll see if he's just going to put his weight on top of Linhart here.
And they are right in front of Sipes' corner, and Sipes is getting all kinds of, right there you can see it in the corner, all kinds of instruction as he's got side control there on Leonard.
He's keeping all of his weight put right on top of the body of Leonard. Keeps Leonard from going anywhere. You saw Leonard try to buck him off there, but it's not going to happen.
I think that grip that Sipes had was just too much, and now he's back into the half guard. It looks like he may try to transition back to the full mount. But you notice that Linhart's got that left knee up, and he doesn't want to get that push down and let Sipes put his leg over and be in the full mount.
Sipes could have a good chance to swing his left leg over and as you said, get into that full mount position. He's going to have to work a little bit, and there you saw a knee, and there's another one to the midsection of Linhart, and now the two are going to stand
and those
up.
will take their toll over the course of a fight.
There. It looked like Sipes had a handful of Linhart's hair there.
Which is pretty good because Linhart's hair is pretty short. That's a pretty good grip with those MMA gloves on.
Pretty short. Looked like he grabbed him by the head, though. Two squaring up each other now, just trying to feel each other out. Got about a minute, 10 seconds left, and Sipes is kind of got a grin there on his face.
He's either really enjoying himself or he thinks he knows something about Caleb Linhart.
He goes to his knees, tries to go for a takedown. Nice block there, though, by Leonard. And the two are going to have to start doing something, or our referee, Munns, is going to be.
Munns may stand him up here in a minute.
Tell him to get busy. And I'll be honest with you, Aaron, I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet. The two have been stationary for a good time.
They both may have been trying to catch their breath or
That's
decide how they
very true.
wanted to get out of it. That was a
think
pretty good clipping shot right there by
so.
Leonard.
I think so. And now look where it
Leonard's
lands him.
in full mount, but the last time he was in full mount, Sipes was able to sweep and turn it to his advantage and end up in the full guard of
And you
Leonard.
see Sipes hanging on for dear life here, trying to keep his body as close to Linhart's as he can.
But did you see Linhart's strategy right there? He says, well, you're going to hold on to me. I will just lift you up and drive you into the mat with my shoulder and my upper body weight.
And we've seen guys get knocked out that way before.
We have seen knockouts in just about every way conceivable, I think.
And now Sipes is going to have to give up his back, and he does so just in time to avoid any more blows from Caleb Linhart. Got to give that round, I think, to Linhart.
And that's interesting how slow that Sipes is to get up. And I'll be honest with you, Andy, I think we got to give that round to Leonard. I think he brought that round to his side there at the very end in that last 20 seconds.
One thing I do want to point out is while Sipes hasn't gotten completely to his feet yet, he is in his corner. He didn't really have to move at the end of that round.
And it may have just been a show of frustration on his part that he let Leonard get sort of the best of him in the last 15 to 20 seconds
and
of that round.
He did, and I think that he gave that round away because of that.
And
because I think Sipes was in good control of the round until that point.
I was thinking to myself that I was prepared to give that round to Bradley Sipes. And then, you know, Caleb Leonard turned it around right at the very end.
Absolutely. Getting ready for our second round here. Sipes looks a little winded. Linhart looks like he's got a little bit of energy.
We'll see if Sipes wants to smile quite as much this round.
Sipes fighting out of the red corner. He's got those red gloves on. Linhart fighting out of the blue corner. He's got the blue trim.
Sipes looks a little apprehensive as they start this round.
He does. It looked like Sipes tried to go for a takedown. But big right
was he
hand
just
swing.
baiting Linhart in? Because that's two big rights. But now Sipes goes down, gets clipped.
He missed on the second haymaker he tried to throw, and now he finds himself on his back. Linhart back in, it looks like the half mount position.
I believe that's the half guard. Yes, it is. He's in Sipes' half guard.
Got his elbows pinned up against the throat.
Be interested to see if Sipes wants to hold himself close to Leonard again.
Oh, he tapped out.
Wow.
Because it looked like Linhart had his elbow on the throat of Sipes and was just choking him that way.
Sort of a body weight choke.
And he just tapped out. Unbelievable. And that comes with about 45 seconds gone in round number 2. We're going to let the staff tend to their fighter. And we'll send it down to Billy Lamb to announce our winner, and then over to Aaron Hathcock. He'll have a word with Caleb Linhart.
And your winner in the blue corner, Caleb Linhart!
All right, let's talk to our winner, Caleb Linhart. Tell us exactly what happened at the end of that fight that caused him to tap out.
Well, I heard him getting out of breath, and I just put my forearm into his throat. Ended it.
Just took advantage of the situation. Yes, sir. Well, congratulations, man. Caleb Linhart, everybody.
All right, the winner of our third fight this evening, Caleb Linhart, at the 45-second mark in the second round via choke submission. Coming up next, Sean Lynn versus Charles Johnson. We'll have that fight coming up for you next here on Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 3.
You hear the haters, baby. You hear the haters. He has him hooked. Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to come in the ring. I'm going to show you what the TCW champ can do.
Yes. Big tackle. Nobody pulls the plug on Alan Steele.
He's saying that's it. This
Almost
is
too much.
steel trap. He's trapped in steel trap.
Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock back here in Paragould at the Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 3 event. Man, been a fun night so far.
What an interesting set of comments from Caleb Linhart right there. He said he was out of breath, and I just thought I'd lay my forearm across his throat and choke him out. And it didn't take long, as we saw,
it worked.
For Sipes to just tap and say, I'm done. I can't handle that. Get this man off my neck.
Well, we talked about it at the end of round number 1. Looked like he could be a little bit out of breath there, and he was. And Caleb Linhart finds himself the winner in the second round because of that.
And we've had 3 really good fights so far tonight.
We have. I think it's a good omen. I don't know if omens are ever good.
Well, you never know. And something interesting to note here, Andy, our fighter in the ring there, Sean Lynn, is being cornered by Bellator fighter Mike Wessel.
So he's got a little bit of help from a seasoned professional.
Absolutely. And it won't be long till Mike Wessel's fighting on a Bellator pay-per-view card.
That's right. That's right. With a fellow Arkansan at that, so it should be a pretty interesting fight there. Entering the ring right now, Charles Johnson fighting out of the red corner, getting attended by our cut girl right now. Already in the hexagon right now is Sean Lynn, and Lynn is fighting out of the blue corner. Lynn wearing the red trunks. Don't get it mixed up. Fighting out of the blue corner in the red trunks, and then fighting out of the red corner, Charles Johnson. He has got the black trunks with camouflage.
Interesting to see what these guys will bring, Andy.
A lot bigger in size.
Obviously, these are heavyweights.
All right, introducing first in the blue corner, this is Sean Lynn. And his opponent in the red corner from Spa City Wolfpack, Charles, the Irish Grim Reaper Johnson.
All right, quite a nickname there
the
for
Irish Grim Reaper.
Charles Johnson. The Irish Grim Reaper. We've had some strange ones here in Paragould. The Wiener Dog.
The Wiener Dog.
I don't know if
that may be my favorite of all time.
I don't know if anyone will ever be as strange and off the wall as that one, but anyways, looking forward to seeing that kid fight again.
The Irish Grim Reaper.
Charles Johnson in the red corner.
But you want to do something that makes people remember you, and that's hard to forget.
It's true. That's true. And referee tightening some things up before we get this fourth fight of the night started. It looks like we're still.
Looks like we've got the thumbs up from the commission now. We're ready to roll here in just a moment.
Looks like they were still tending to Bradley Sipes down here on the side. And here we go with round number 1. Fighters come out, touch gloves. Here we go.
See how these guys want to start this fight.
Lynn in the red trunks, Johnson in the black trunks camouflage trim.
A kick from the Irish Grim Reaper to start the fight.
And the two grapple. Johnson with his back up against the cage. It looks like he's going for a guillotine early. See if he can get it locked in.
I don't know if he has it all the way. It's hard to tell. He's cranking on it like he's got it pulled in.
Lynn is going to have to get out of this position quickly. Having that air supply cut off for any period of time.
But he made Johnson give it up.
He did. He's trying to go for it. Looked like for a double leg takedown there.
But two uppercuts and a left as Lynn went across the ring. But Lynn says, "I'm going to go up against the cage, and we'll do a little bit from the clinch."
Johnson throwing a couple of short punches there. He finally pushes Lynn off. Lynn touches a left.
Trying to determine exactly what Lynn wants to do here. He looks like he wants to be a little bit away from Johnson and maybe not quite so close.
Well, every time he's gotten in there, Johnson's tagged him too. So, and there you see again, Johnson was very close to catching a left straight there. Lynn trying to, I think that's exactly what he's trying to do. He doesn't want to get in the wheelhouse of Johnson.
I think he wants to stand on the outside. He's trying to make a little distance with that front kick.
And Johnson closes that distance with a knee, and now looks like he's going for, could be a double hook.
Possibly. It looks like he's trying to crank that neck again.
He's going for the guillotine again.
And look at, there it is.
Tapped it in.
You could see Lynn thinking about tapping and saying no and then yes.
Well, the darker it starts to get, the more you want to say yes. That's exactly what just happened. At the 1 minute and 35 second mark Round number 1, Charles Johnson, the Irish Grim Reaper, is our winner. We'll send it down to Billy Lamb to announce the winner, and then over to Aaron Hathcock for a word.
And your winner from the red corner, Charles, the Irish Grim Reaper, Johnson!
Okay, everybody, let's talk to our winner, Charles Johnson. Charles, you went for that guillotine a couple of times. Is that something you thought coming into the fight you were going to be able to do?
No, he just left it open. I just tried to get it.
All right, man. Well, congratulations to you. Good job tonight. Charles Johnson, everybody.
Going to take a quick 10-minute break, visit the concession stand, visit my good friends over here at the Hillbilly Fightwear, shake hands with a heavyweight champion. 10 minutes.
All right, we're going to have our first intermission of the night. Still to come, 2 fights featuring international fighters all the way from Russia. If they win, we're going to have to get our translator out here. Break out those Rosetta Stones, folks. Stay tuned. More to come here with Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds crew.
Watch your head.
Watch out, Bernie.
It's fun hunting with your buddies, but it's really fun when you get landed with your buddies.
I've got a special technique where I just wait for the big ones to go.
Yeah, baby.
We welcome you back to Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 3 here in Paragould. We're out here at the BC Lloyd Building on the Greene County Fairgrounds. Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock sitting hexagon side. One side of the hexagon as we get set to start these fights back up. Had a nice little intermission. Did some mingling.
Always.
And now we're ready to get this thing up and rolling once again. Our 5th fight of the evening. John Chitwood making his way to the ring right now, getting 10-2 by our cut girl. He'll be fighting out of the blue corner.
I'm from Tubetown, Arkansas. I train at Barada MMA at Associate Arkansas. I fight at 45, 55, and I train with William McLaughlin, and I cross-train with Rolly Delgado. William McLaughlin is my coach at Barada, and Rolly's a West Side coach at Little Rock. We have great pro fighters such as Wade Johnson, and great training partners, Eli McLaughlin. It kind of means a lot for people to come out and support me from different types of areas like Mississippi and stuff like that, Memphis and Cabot. I mean, it's just whatever. They just buy a ticket. I train every day. I mean, I do about 5 to 6 miles a day. And then I head up to training at Barada. And then Wednesdays I train at Westside. Other than that, it's every day.
As you see the blue stripes there on his gloves. Aaron, tell us a little bit about these gloves. Obviously, they're not the same as boxing gloves, completely different.
Well, they're open. The fingers are open so that you can grip your opponent and can do more things than you can do with boxing gloves. But they're padded a little bit on the end. Of course, the fighters have their hands taped underneath. And they're much lighter. Typically, they're 4 ounces to 6 ounces. I'm not sure.
Whereas
what gloves,
boxing gloves would be like
12, 13 ounces.
That's what I was going to say. A little bit heavier.
I think even 15 in some of the fights. So these are a lot lighter.
Adrian Walker is going to be making his way out on stage here shortly. John Chitwood awaits his opponents as we speak. He's wearing the black trunks with camouflage, as we've seen some of our other fighters do here tonight. So got to be fighting out of the same club. And here comes Adrian Walker out right now. Once again, he'll be fighting out of the red corner this evening. Before this fight starts, again, let's go back over our last 4 fights, the first 4 of the night. It's been a great card so far, and hopefully it's a good sign for things to come. Still haven't seen our 2 Russian fighters enter the hexagon yet.
They're coming
Looking
up.
forward to that in the final 4 fights of the evening when we move to 3 5-minute rounds. So Dustin Brawley was a winner in the first fight of the night, winner at the 1 minute 58-second mark in the first round. Tim East won in the second round with 7 seconds gone by via TKO. Caleb Linhart is a winner via submission in the second round. In our last fight, Charles the Irish Grim Reaper Johnson gets a win in the first round via standing guillotine.
4 fights, 4 finishes, Andy.
We'll send it down to Billy Lamb.
In the blue corner, from Barta MMA, John Chitwood. And his opponent in the red corner, from Hard Knocks Fight Club, this is the Matrix, Adrian Walker.
Adrian Walker, the Matrix.
The Matrix.
Is his nickname. The interesting nicknames continue to roll through here on Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Ground 3. Big thanks to Global Proving Ground for helping set up this event tonight. As, of course, AA Productions based here in Paragould wouldn't be possible without those guys. So
the Matrix is maybe not as long as the Irish Grim Reaper, but because of the popularity of the trilogy, maybe it's as memorable.
Maybe so. Maybe so. We'll see.
This guy's coming out touching gloves.
We'll see if he has any Neo-like moves here momentarily.
Yeah, if he starts to move in slow motion, I don't know what we're going to do.
Comes out, big front kick there, misses from Walker. Walker, of course, wearing the pink trunks. Chitwood wearing the black trunks with camouflage. And Walker is staying on his toes here. He's staying very, very limber.
Walker's definitely showing
some
Neo-like quickness, I think, Andy.
He really is. He's just trying to. I mean, you see him dancing around a lot, but he is just trying to stay on his toes. You have to do that in a fight like that. Quick leg strike there, and then one on the other side just for good measure.
And I wonder if he didn't miss a little bit with that kick. You saw him hit Chitwood up near the hip.
And I think Chitwood actually just caught Walker
a low blow,
a little below the belt. So the referee
will
give him
a timeout here, and the Matrix should have 5 minutes to recover.
And time does stop. Here, official time does stop.
That's correct. It's basically like a timeout. I don't think that was in the plan for the Matrix, though.
I don't think it was either. So, yeah. And they are giving him as much time as he needs. As you said, that he gets up to 5 minutes if he needs it to kind of recuperate. So
to gather himself and be able to continue.
Absolutely. That's never fun. It's never fun.
No, and these fighters wear protection, but sometimes a strike hits you and it's just painful anyway.
Well, here we go, and there you see a show of respect between the two fighters. Nothing intended there.
No, that was absolutely an unintentional strike, and I know Chitwood didn't mean it. That probably didn't make it hurt any less for the Matrix.
Yeah, sure. Chitwood has got a couple of inches in height on Walker, and you got to wonder if that's going to play into, play a factor in tonight's fight.
Well, and it may because of that reach advantage that's going to come along with that. It doesn't look like, watching these guys as they strike, it doesn't look like it's much of a reach advantage. But as I started to say before our timeout, Andy, Walker's kick landed on the side of Chitwood's hip, and I'm not quite sure that's where he meant for that kick to land.
Sure.
Typically, you want to land that kick on the thigh or inside the knee to try to take that front base away from your opponent.
Absolutely.
So he may have missed a little bit
and
with
I
that
feel
kick.
like a lot of it, they had a stop with a little less than a minute gone by in the first round here, and you got to wonder if the two aren't still trying to maybe feel each other out a little bit also.
This looks like a feeling out process, Andy. That's definitely for sure.
So, and there I think Chitwood stumbled and fell.
Chitwood a little bit.
I don't think Chitwood was knocked down by that punch. I think he tripped in trying to backpedal. So I don't think they'll score that a knockdown at all.
No, I don't think he caught him very well if he caught him at all. I think you're right, Andy.
Walker, and the distance has been reduced now as Walker's back is up against the cage.
And just
now
like you talked about, just
like
like we saw, Chitwood was at his distance for his arms, and Walker took a nice right hook and wasn't able to connect because Chitwood is out of his range.
Well, and Walker was able to land a kick down low there, and he tried to immediately go up high with a punch. His form is good. He's got the right idea, but as you just pointed out, he's having a hard time in getting in there and landing those blows without catching a few
exactly.
on the way
He's
out.
got to figure out how to get in the pocket where he can land his strikes on Chitwood, but not be injured by Chitwood at the same time. He doesn't want to take damage while he's trying to do damage.
Got around 15 seconds left here in this first round. John Chitwood, Adrian Walker still feeling each other out, really. It's hard to determine a winner of this first round, I think. I think you would have to well, I don't really know. I was going to say I think you'd have to give it to Chitwood, but
Walker did a little bit of Neo-West dodging there, as we saw.
He did, no doubt about it. So
that's a tough round to score, Andy.
Round number 1 is up. Definitely tough. Definitely tough. What do you do when there were no takedowns?
No. And I don't think we're going to see any takedowns.
No knockdowns. Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I think if you were going to see these guys go to the ground, you would have already seen that. And it may come to that, but right now it looks like these two want to stand up with each other.
Well, it appears that these guys are stand-up fighters, and that's, like you said, where they want to stay. So I don't suspect we'll see much on the ground unless there's some ground and pound if one of these guys does get caught and knocked down. Andy, like I said, I'm a little bit apprehensive how to score this fight. Because there wasn't a lot of strikes landed either, really.
Well, I'll say this: Walker has got a big sweeping hook that we've already seen a couple of times here, and he's thrown it. He hasn't hit it yet, but I'm thinking if he can get in there that's the thing, is he's going to have to get inside Chitwood's
wheelhouse. Perhaps I
wheelhouse.
think you have to give that round to Walker 10-9 just because of aggressiveness. When all else fails, that's what you've got to go back to.
Well, and there you see him. He's being aggressive here to start the second round as well, getting inside and throwing a couple punches, but quickly backing out because he doesn't want to get hit. A couple of nice leg kicks there, though.
Once again, I'm not sure where he wants those kicks to land.
He just caught a big left, did Chitwood. Walker lands his punch on the mark.
And it's interesting to watch these two guys, Andy. Chitwood seems to want to stand in the center of the ring and be able to control which direction the fight is going to go and what the angles are. But Walker seems to be okay with that as he moves around and maybe uses his quickness on the outside and seems to maybe be able to find his spots a little bit better in this round.
It looked like Chitwood wants to time one of these kicks from Walker, as he almost did just a minute ago. He threw one of his own there, but for the most part, he's just letting Walker throw those leg kicks towards his body, and he almost caught one just a second ago. We'll see if he can do that.
But if Walker continues to land those kicks up near the hips, see, that was in a place on that thigh more where I think he wants to land it. I don't believe he wants to be up around the hips.
Those will wear a fighter down, absolutely.
They will make your leg hurt.
It takes a lot of your punching power out.
And I've seen many fights where a fighter's leg turns red and whelps up, and sometimes even begins to turn purple as you get toward the end of the fight.
The last time we were here, nice
spinning back kick, that was nice.
Off the mark. We've seen a spinning back fist end a fight tonight already. Why not a back kick? In the last fight we had here at the BC Lloyd building, we actually saw a fighter kick another fighter in the back of the leg, and it caused him to go immediately to the mat.
Absolutely. It absolutely can happen.
We were wondering if there was any structural damage, like maybe he tore an ACL or something like that. It was a very well-placed kick, but, well, you could see all kinds of things happen here in MMA.
And, there are dangers on both ends of that exchange when you're throwing a kick to the leg, as you saw in the UFC with Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman. Anderson Silva broke both bones in his shin because Chris Weidman checked it, and there's another back kick from Chitwood.
And that one came a little closer to landing its mark. So we'll 45 seconds left here in this second round. Both fighters still kind of tentative here, even with almost 6 minutes gone by.
But as this round has evolved, Andy, we have seen the aggressiveness switch from the Matrix Walker to Chitwood a little bit.
Walker looked like a couple of left straights.
That was a pretty good stiff left right there.
I don't know if either one of them landed their mark, but
that straight left seemed to catch Walker right under the chin as he was coming in, which I think is what Chitwood wants to do. He wants to use his reach and catch Walker on the way in.
He's constantly staying inside right now. Just watch him how close he gets to Walker, even as Walker, especially as Walker backs up against the cage.
And as we said in the first part of the round, Walker is in the or Chitwood is in the center of the ring, and he's making Walker go around on the outside.
Well, we are 3 minutes away, potentially, from having our first decision.
This may be our first fight to go to the cards, Andy. And honestly, right now, I have it tied. I have it 19-19 after 2 rounds. I gave that the second round to Chitwood.
Well, and I think, as you mentioned earlier in this fight, I think it's all based on aggressiveness, because so far we haven't seen anything spectacular from one fighter or the other.
Honestly,
it's just been aggressiveness and trying to feel each other out.
Absolutely. It would be interesting to see the fight metric from this fight and see how many of these strikes that are being thrown. And we're seeing a lot of strikes being thrown, but other than these leg kicks, as these guys trade leg kicks to one side or the other, there aren't that many of their punches being landed. Very few, a very small percentage.
I'm thinking that Walker's going to try to do something with one of those big swinging hooks that he's done.
I think so.
That he's attempted. Hasn't hit one yet, but we'll see if he can. We'll see if he can land one here in round number 3. Here we go. Walker in the pink
sort of
trunks.
Traded blows there.
Chitwood is in the black and camouflage trunks.
Another kick to the thigh.
Trading kicks. They've traded punches, traded kicks so far here in round number 3. And there's a takedown attempt. And it looks like Walker is attempting a guillotine, and I don't think he has it quite locked in. Nice single leg takedown.
Right there by Chitwood.
Single leg takedown, and that's big as far as the scorecard goes.
Absolutely.
For John Chitwood. Chitwood trying to pass guard right now. Trying to get into full mount. He's in side control, and it looks like he's in half guard, actually.
He's in the half guard now, yes.
Thought he had slipped that right leg over and gotten into side control, but not quite yet. It looks like he's trying to get there, though.
But honestly, if you look at Walker's legs, he's not really trying to do a lot.
To guard that.
Well, see, and now Chitwood's decided to go to the full guard.
And Walker is in a bad spot as far as it being the 3rd round.
And honestly, if you look, what Chitwood has done is he's put Walker's head up against the cage, and Walker can't use his quickness, as we've seen with his head movement earlier in this fight, to get away from those punches, because he's basically got his head trapped against the cage.
Well, we have seen exactly what we talked about, and that's Chitwood using that size to finally pin Walker down. And once he closed the distance and pinned him up against the cage, he was able to get him on the ground, and now he's in a dominant position. Not good right now for Walker, especially where we had the fight scored through the first 2 rounds.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is the most action that we've seen in the fight so far, and Chitwood is the one initiating all this action. So definitely got to think he's up in the score right now. 1 minute, 15 seconds approximately left here in round number 3. Final round between John Chitwood and Adrian the Matrix Walker. And he looks like he's out of breath, Walker does.
And he's working hard down there. He's been moving so active the whole fight, but now he's having to work really hard to fight off Chitwood.
And he's going to have to do something quickly to get off of his back and back on his feet. And there's that quickness you talk about. He's throwing some punches from down low.
But every time he moves his hips and shifts his hips to try to get an advantage to either sweep or get out from under.
Nice pass.
Exactly. Chitwood is countering that move.
And he's got his elbows all on Walker's face, and you know that, first of all, it can't feel good, but it also makes it where you can't breathe as well.
And early in this fight, Andy, we talked about how these guys seem to want to stand and trade shots. And you wonder, as we don't know that much about these fighters, you wonder if this is why Walker wanted to be standing and didn't want to be on the ground, because maybe he knew that his ground game was maybe not up to par with Chitwood.
And it could have
Chitwood seems to be matching him move for move.
Could have a little bit to do with size as well. About 10 seconds left, and as you see, Chitwood has moved into side control, and there is the horn sounding the end of round number 3. So it's going to go to the decisions. Go to the judges for a decision for the first time tonight. So
and I have it 29-28 Chitwood. I think he won the last 2 rounds. I think he lost the first one and won the last 2.
I think he did. Stayed very aggressive, and you got to wonder what his trainer told him. But we'll take a moment here to figure out what the judges are going to say. Our man Aaron Hathcock is going to go down and get a word with our winner as soon as those judges decide who the winner of this fight is going to be. John Chitwood, Adrian Walker. Our judges tonight, David Dyer, Wes Kraft, and John Webb. And they have got a somewhat of a difficult decision on their hands right now. Gotta wonder what Adrian Walker is being told over there in his corner. Gets a hug from his trainer over there. And we're awaiting the decision right now from the referees. We're gonna send it down to Billy Lamb here in just a minute. Our ring announcer this evening here at Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 3. And after that, we'll kick it over to Aaron Hathcock for a word from our winner. Here's Billy Lamb.
And your winner, by majority decision, the Matrix, Adrian Walker!
All right, everybody, let's talk to our winner, Adrian Walker. That was a lot of back and forth in that fight. Did you have tell us about your strategy as you came into this fight?
Well, I knew that Chitwood was a good grappler, and he was a just player. We just worked on keeping him off of me. A lot of leg kicks, a lot of just moving around, Muhammad Ali style,
Yeah, it looked to us that you were trying to keep it standing, especially in the first 2 rounds. But in the 3rd round, when it went to the ground, what did you think you needed to do to counteract his ground game?
It was just move my hips, try to at least try to do something. I tried to, do an arm bar, but he's slippery and everything. But, I just kept my composure, don't freak out and everything. I just kept my composure.
Nice job, man. Congratulations on your win. Adrian Walker, everybody.
All right, surprise decision here from our judges. The first fight to go to a decision tonight. And Adrian Walker, and I believe they just said it was a unanimous decision. Adrian Walker, the winner over John Chitwood. Our next fight coming up, Curtis Donor versus Josh Hudson. We'll tell you all about that coming up next here on Tubetown Channel 21.
Make no mistake about it, business is a race. The faster you deliver, the better. These days, old school is getting schooled. Northeast Arkansas is now doing business at quantum speed. Introducing Quantum, only from Ritter Communications. Try to keep up.
Welcome back to Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds. 3, Andy Maness and Aaron Hadcock sitting ringside, getting ready for our 6th fight of the night. Curtis Donor making his way to the ring right now, fighting out of the blue corner.
My name's Curtis Donor, originally a 55-pounder, moved up to 170, and fight out of Salina, Ohio. Peak Submissions, private gym out of St. Mary's, Ohio. I live about 10 minutes away from it, so it's an easy drive for me, and work hard every day, and don't take it's a great stress reliever. Having bad days at work, you get going to the gym and punch people in the face. I have family and friends coming from Salina, Ohio to this fight, so I got a good fan base that follows me and they're with me 100%. So just come out, and if you're looking for a show, I'm going to give it.
Man, quite a surprise decision in that last fight, Aaron. Not the way we had it scored at all.
Now, obviously, you and I were shocked, especially a unanimous decision. At first when Billy Lamb announced a majority decision, that means that the 3 judges didn't agree.
Absolutely.
And one judge would have had the fight scored for Chitwood and 2 for Walker, but as he corrected himself and it was a unanimous decision, all 3 judges saw that fight differently than you and I. And it would be interesting to see the scorecards and see if it was the first round or the second round.
That Walker won indeed. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, really, when you think Walker had to have won the first 2 because there's no way any of those judges had him winning that 3rd and final round.
I agree.
The first 2 rounds had to be the ones that the ones that the judges saw that Walker won.
And obviously, it was with Walker on the outside and being active may have been seen as more aggressiveness than you and I saw the fight. But that's why I'm not a judge. That's why you're not a judge. That's why we get to sit over here and just talk about these things.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that these fighters' fates don't rest in my hand.
Me too.
I'll be honest with you. And now we've moved to the portion of the card where we have 5-minute rounds. So each of these fighters is going to have a little bit longer to showcase his skills as we go forward from here.
That's right. Curtis Donor in the ring right now. He is fighting out of the blue corner. You see our referee talking to him right now.
And, Andy, that's pretty significant when you think about a fight that goes 3 rounds. Up until now, we've seen 3-minute rounds, and those 2 guys that fought to a decision fought 9 minutes in the cage. If
these guys
fight
from 9 to 15.
Yes, sir. 6 minutes in that cage seems like an eternity.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. Josh Hudson, Making his way to the ring right now. There you see he's wearing the red trunks, white trim.
My name is Josh Hudson, 170 pounds, and I'm a freestyle fighter out of Batesville, Arkansas. My coach is Matt Sellers. I train out of Without Limits MMA in Batesville, Arkansas. I fight because it keeps me in shape. It's something that I've always done. It's just fun for me. So the support's what it's all about. The support is everything. So, you know, before your fight, when you walk around and you see your friends and family there, you know what you're fighting for. Appreciate it, everybody.
And, man, been a great card so far. It has not disappointed, and it never does anytime Global Proving Grounds and Double A Productions team up.
I don't think you and I have ever been to a Double A Productions fight, and now that they've teamed up with Global Proving Grounds, especially I know here in the BC Lloyd building where we have walked away disappointed.
No, not at all. Not at all. We always get our money's worth, that's for sure. So there's a lot of energy being shown there by Hudson as he enters the ring. Nice little sprint around the hexagon. And we'll see if that energy is going to translate into his game. I guess that's what you can call it. All right, and again, 3 5-minute rounds. We've had up until this point 3 3-minute rounds. We're upping it to 5 minutes now for our final 4 fights. Send it down to Billy Lamb.
Submission. This is Curtis Donor. And his opponent in the red corner, from Without Limits, Josh Hudson.
All right, Josh Hudson fighting out of the red corner, and out of the blue corner, Curtis Donor. Fighters touch gloves in the middle of the ring. Now they will bow to each other as is customary for Global Proving Grounds. And Aaron, we're set.
Here we go. First 5-minute round fight of the night.
And here we go. Fighters will come out. Not touching gloves here at the beginning like we've seen so far tonight.
Well, these guys did the bow and showed the respect, but they came out like they mean business. A little Muay Thai clinch with some knees right there from Hudson.
Oh, and a big
slam from Donner. Immediately to side control, and Hudson gets his knee up to try to keep Donner away from him just a little bit as they go to the ground.
Well, and Hudson has got a nice lock there around the head of Donner as well. So,
and that's just to try to keep Donner close to him and have a little bit of control. But is Donor cut? I believe Donner's cut.
Well, Donor, not only did he catch a couple of knees.
Or that may be a nose, right?
That's a bloody nose, because not only did he catch a couple of knees, he definitely caught a kick, the opening kick to the head from Hudson. So,
but I think you're right. I think that Muay Thai clinch from Hudson and those 2 knees before the slam may have done some damage to Donner's nose.
So to me, it looks like Hudson is going to be trying to take advantage of a height and a reach. Curtis Donor, I think, is definitely going to have an advantage in the weight. I think he's got a little bit of advantage in the weight. He's a little bit stockier. So, but we're going to see if he can get inside Hudson right now. We've already seen he's got the strength. Donor just picked Hudson up a moment ago and slammed him home. So we'll see if that continues.
Absolutely, and we talked about it earlier, Andy, in a previous fight where if you have trouble breathing through your nose, you're going to have to breathe through your mouth, and you can see glimpses of Donor's mouthpiece right there.
Woo,
but
it's over.
It's done.
Lights out.
Hudson's mouthpiece is out.
And Hudson right now is actually arguing with the referee.
He's saying, I'm fine, I'm fine.
But the referee called it. Oh, wow, lights out.
Another knockout, Andy.
2 minutes and 40 seconds gone by here in round number 1. Josh Hudson has just been KO'd. Short right-handed hook from Curtis Donor, and Josh Hudson's night is over. Donor had his nose bloodied and all. He still comes out the winner. We're going to send it down to Billy Lamb and then kick it over to Aaron Hathcock for a word with our winner.
And your winner in the blue corner, peak submissions, Curtis Donor!
Let's talk to our winner, Curtis Donor. Curtis, right there at the beginning of the fight, it looked like you may have taken some damage to your nose with those knees from the clinch, but then you finished it. Tell us about the end of the fight.
I was just listening to my trainer. We were going over in the back about, recently going pro. In Ohio, we're not allowed throwing elbows, and just listened to him, and he said it was open, and I threw it over top, and lights out.
So you were looking for that from the beginning of the fight, right?
I was actually waiting for him to head kick me, but he kneed me in the nose, and it kind of got a little bit messed up. But.
All right, Curtis. Congratulations, man. Everybody give it up for Curtis Donor.
Curtis Donor, the winner of our 6th fight of the evening. Winner at the 2-minute 40-second mark in the first round via KO. And there you heard him say he threw a bow. From my perspective, it looked like he had thrown like a short hook and maybe caught Hudson right on the chin, but it was in fact an elbow. And that is legal here in the state of Arkansas. So getting away with something here he can't get away with in his hometown of Ohio. A little elbow in there.
Well, and we talked about that early in the fight, that as we move to these fights toward the end of the card, that the knees and elbows that were not legal in the beginning were going to be legal as long as your opponent's not grounded. And we just saw it right there. And another interesting note that I talked to Curtis Donor after my interview was that this was his pro debut. So what a way to come out in Paragould, Arkansas at the B.C. Lloyd building and win your first pro fight with an elbow knockout.
No doubt about it. Got to be a great feeling for Curtis Donor. Winner again over Josh Hudson, getting set for our 7th fight of the evening. Lupe Hudgens finally getting to see in action one of our international fighters all the way from Russia. This guy is a member of the Russian Army. He was a
Russian Army combative
champion for the last 3 years running.
This just in. Wow.
Alexander Keshtov, welcome to Paragould, Arkansas. We'll tell you all about him here in just a moment. And actually we'll step aside for a quick break. They're gonna clean up the ring, get the blood all wiped up for our next fight. We'll tell you about the Russian sensation making his way to Paragould here in just a minute. Back after this on Tubetown, Channel 21.
You hear the haters, baby. You hear the haters. He has him hooked. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna come in the ring. I'm gonna show you what the TCW champion do.
Yes, big tackle. Nobody pulls a plug on Alan Steele.
He's saying that's it. This
Almost
is
too much.
Steel trap. He's trapped. The steel trap.
Welcome back to Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 3, getting set for our 7th fight. Lupe Hudgens making his way to the ring right now.
My name is Lupe Hudgens. I fight at 145, 140, 138 for tomorrow night, 135, 130. Eventually I want to get down to 125. I believe that I'll be the biggest, strongest 125 out there, so that's where I'm coming. I'm from Washington State. My coach is Marlon Valdez, and I fight out of Underground Fight Club. And we just we do a lot of wrestling. We do some stand-up. We do a mixed martial arts gym, so we do everything. I have a lot of fans. I want to get more fans. I travel. I fought in Hawaii. I fought in Florida. Now I'm fighting here in Arkansas. I'm ready. I'm a gamer. I'll fight anywhere, anytime. My family's really supportive. I have 3 kids at home that they go to practices with me, and my girl, she's back at home. She always has me eat good, so I'm able to train hard. I think it's very hard and demanding, and it's a challenge. Every day I wake up with new challenges, and that's something that this is what I want to dedicate my life to, and this is what I want to make a run at it and see where I get in this sport. Thank you everyone for supporting me, helping me get through everything, and without you guys I wouldn't be living my dream right now.
Got to get his face touched up with some Vaseline. Vaseline's great for the cuts. Doesn't really help out the noses too much, though. Can't really do
not
much,
really.
too much for that.
They get the bridge of the nose, but there's nothing you can do from a Muay Thai clinch to a knee coming from up under.
Yeah.
Except hope that doesn't break your nose.
That'll do some damage for sure.
And you could tell. I think it was able to be told over the microphone. You could tell by the way that our man Hudson was talking, or Donor was talking, that he had a little bit of issues.
Oh yeah,
breathing
there's
through that
no
nose.
doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Sounded like he had a cold a little bit. So.
It sure didn't look like you had a cold when you were standing next to him. And if it did, it was the worst cold I've ever seen, Andy.
Lupe Hudgens, a lot of energy in the ring right now. We'll see if he can bring that to the fight as well. Alexander Keshtov, he is going to need all the energy he can bring to the ring to face this guy. Alexander Keshtov, all the way from Russia, a member of the Russian Army and the Russian Army combative champion for the last 3 years in a row.
Alexander weighs 138 pounds of мой стиль боевой сам, рукопашный. Я родом в городе Нальчике, но в данный момент выступаю за город Краснодар. Хочу передать большой привет своим тренерам, всем, кто меня готовил, и всем, кто за меня болеет. Большой привет. Приехал сюда, хочу достойно выступить, чтобы моя страна гордилась. Город
Well, welcome to America.
Absolutely. You got to wonder if there's a little bit of nerves right now for Lupe Hudgens. But
Maybe
I guess,
so.
but you wonder if you get to this point, if all the fights are that way, or if it just gets to the point where you're just not even nervous at all before a fight.
I think it's like many other things when you're on a stage in front of people, and there's performance in this, Andy. I mean, obviously
Absolutely.
it's fighting and it's a combative sport, but in the end it's still performance in a way. And I think if you don't have a few butterflies, then maybe you should think about why does it not affect you anymore, because it should get to you down in your soul a little bit.
You got to wonder what style Keshtov is going to bring to the ring. You got to wonder if he's going to bring stand-up or grappling. I'm assuming he's going to be an outstanding grappler.
I would think so. Maybe the most famous Russian MMA fighter of all time was a Sambo champion. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. Fedor Emelianenko is who I'm talking about. Had a 10-year winning streak.
Wow.
Before he was stopped in Strikeforce by Fabricio Verdun.
Nice little bit of knowledge there.
But Fedor Emelianenko was famous.
Let's send it down to Billy Lamb.
From Team Underground, this is Lupe Hudgens. And his opponent in the red corner, Alexander Keshtov.
All right, two fighters introduced to the crowd here in the BC Lloyd building. Fighting out of the blue corner, Lupe Hudgens. He is wearing the white trunks, and Alexander Keshtov fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks, red trim.
We'll see, as you said, what Keshtov will bring to the table as the Russian Army combative champion.
Here we go, first round of 3. 5-minute rounds again here for the final fights of the night. And there is an
That's
attempted
a nice
head
kick right there. It just barely glanced off the face of
know,
Lupe,
but
then a back kick, a spinning back kick.
Lupe Hudgens looked like he couldn't back up far enough to get away from that kick, and he ran into the cage. He just wanted to get out of that kick's range, I guarantee you.
But now they're in the clinch up against the cage.
Oh,
a nice elbow right there.
Strong.
I wonder if Lupe Hudgens is not hurt a little bit by that.
I think he is, absolutely, because
now, Andy, we're going to find out how Keshtov is on the ground.
Lupe Hudgens in a bad spot
He's in
early
the closed
on
guard
here.
of Hudgens.
In a bad spot early on. I mean, I think he absolutely is affected by that elbow. I think it caught him, and I think it dazed him a little bit. He attempted a spinning back fist himself and was off the mark there, and that's how he finds himself in this position right here. He throws an elbow from the bottom. Oh, and it looked like Keshtov was going for a slam there. Now he's just raining those overhand blows.
He lost
from
his
the
grip on
standing
that
up
slam
position.
attempt a little bit.
But he is in a great position right now with Lupe Hudgens up against the cage. The head of Hudgens is up against the cage, and that makes it very hard to
Some
move.
short lefts and then some short rights by Keshtov.
Hudgens has got to try to get this back on his feet.
And if you'll notice right there, until he let go of it, Keshtov had a hold of both of Hudgens' feet, and that's to stop that right there, the up kick attempt. Occasionally you will see a fighter who's standing get knocked out.
Oh, and
he tried a knee bar or a leg lock right there, or maybe a heel hook.
And now a single leg takedown attempt here from Hudgens, and we'll see if Keshtov on one leg can escape this.
But Keshtoff is not letting Hudgens do anything with his arms that are wrapped around his leg. Some instructions in Russian coming from Keshtoff's corner.
About 2 minutes gone by here in round number 1. And this is, once again, going for a double leg takedown now. It looks like from Hudgens. Hudgens lets go. And now his back is up against the cage.
Keshtoff with the whizzer and spins it around and puts Hudgens back up against the cage. That's got to be a tough spot for Hudgens to be in, up against the cage in his opponent's corner.
Not sure if he landed anything on that uppercut there, but it was a big throw.
He did get out and get free, but an uppercut.
And now I think he's stunned.
Hudgens may be dazed a little bit.
And it looks like Hudgens is having a problem seeing right now.
Makes you wonder if he caught a stray. Did he catch a stray finger in the eye? Nice sprawl by Keshtoff.
And now here's a guillotine attempt. And there's a nice escape by Hudgens. Hudgens back on his back. And Keshtoff is standing over him.
And Keshtoff looks so calm and collected and
patient.
He
does. You could tell that, we're talking about a Russian Army combative champion. This is, any day at the office for him. He absolutely looks very cool, very calm.
You would think he might be sitting at home reading his favorite book right now. He is so calm and collected.
Using that body weight to stay on top.
And contrast that with what we've seen from Lupe Hudgens. At times, he has looked kind of harried and worried and maybe unsure of what to do. But he's put a valiant effort to counter all the things that Keshtoff has thrown at him so far.
And now it goes back to close guard. We've got about 1:30 seconds left here in round number 1, and you talk about feeling like an eternity. You can only imagine if you're Lupe Hudgens right now.
He's probably saying to himself, I just want to be able to get up and go to my corner for a moment. And a moment really is all he gets with 60 seconds.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Keshtoff trying to stay busy here.
He's in the closed guard of Hudgens.
And I'm surprised the referee hasn't done anything to stand him up here.
Both these guys are being fairly active, though, on the ground. Defense from Hudgens and attempts at offense like that right there from Keshtoff.
Couple of elbows there. And it looks like Keshtoff's going to try to stand this one back up.
But Keshtoff is relentless with those short strikes.
And they don't do just a ton of damage, but they don't feel great.
No, they add up.
They do not feel great at all. So you got to wonder where Hudgens
between
is at
the blows to the head and the exertion, if you look, Lupe Hudgens has a little bit of a red tint to his head.
Well, and again, Keshtoff, anytime he goes back to that standing guard, he's putting a lot of body weight there. Hudgens doing a good job defensively, though, on his back.
Hudgens has one overhook with his left arm, as you see there.
15 seconds
Here we
left.
go. We're going to stand him up.
Stand him up for the final 15 seconds. Referee sends them back to their corners, and here we go. 10 seconds left in round number 1.
Oh, he thought about a spinning back kick and decided to keep his leg down.
Uppercut.
One more shot.
Hudgens is just.
And then 2 or 3. Wow, look at that.
I think Hudgens is ready to be done with this fight, Aaron.
Wow. Well, I don't think there's any doubt about who won that round.
He is just completely closing up.
And honestly, much more damage, and I would have been tempted to give that round to Keshtoff 10-8. You don't see that many 10-8 rounds. I've seen a few more recently, but honestly, there was a lot of control of that hexagon by Alexander Keshtoff in that round.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Keshtoff, the clear-cut winner, I think, in that round. And he's look at him, he's just sitting there like it's nothing. He's just very casual about it.
You have a towel. I'm gonna put my mouthpiece back in, and we'll do this again.
Meanwhile, there's look at the face of Hudgens. A lot of worry. I think he's trying to figure out what he's gonna have to do.
Mm-hmm. How do I counter everything this man is throwing at me? Well, I think we've definitely seen some of what makes you a Russian Army combative champion for 3 consecutive years.
No doubt. Absolutely. Hudgens has done a good job of staying in the fight, though. I mean, there are plenty of chances that Keshtoff could have ended this already.
I think so. But as we said, Lupe is doing a good job of trying to counter, and he's not quitting.
Well, this is where it's got to be for Lupe Hudgens. I think on his feet right here.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Like I said, he's doing his best to avoid those shots.
He's doing a lot
to
try
power.
to get.
There's power in every shot that Keshtoff
and
throws.
And you wonder if that's why Hudgens is trying to turtle up like that. I mean, he's not doing anything to try to block any of those punches from Keshtov right now.
And I don't know if because they're coming at different angles, and a lot of times when you look at Keshtov, he's got his body. He's throwing every punch from his hips, and there's a lot of torque, and his arms aren't necessarily extended, and there's still so much power in those punches. And I wonder if it may be a little frustrating to Lupe Hudgens.
Well, Hudgens is in danger of catching an uppercut. I guarantee you that, because he continues to just duck his head down to try to get out of the way of these punches. I will not be surprised to see Keshtov catch him with one here. But a nice hook there of the leg by Hudgens. Attempting a single leg takedown.
Actually, that was a nice transition. Keshtov had double overhooks on him, and then he moved to this single leg and picked Keshtov's leg up and made him change his focus from the double overhooks to try not to get taken down.
And he's attempting a double leg takedown right here, and he might get it, but a nice sprawl there by Keshtov.
A lot of energy being expended by Keshtov, but he was able to counteract that takedown attempt.
Oh, he
spinning back fist.
He ducked right underneath it, but there again, Hudgens just completely ducking down. There's a guillotine attempt. We'll see if he can get it locked in. It looks like Keshtov is going to be able to. Well, I don't know. How deep does he have it?
Wow. He may have it.
I don't know if he quite.
I can't see Hudgens' chin.
And he got out of it.
He must not have had it very tight, but as we've talked about in the past, especially with these longer rounds, the later you go in a fight, the harder a submission is to get locked in on your opponent because of all the sweat and the bodies get slick, and there's just not as much grip available.
Keshtov in the favorable position right now.
Once again, Hudgens has that guard closed, so it's going to be very difficult for Keshtov to pass to side guard or half guard or side control or half guard.
Well, we've seen a nice exhibition of a little bit of everything here from Keshtov throughout the first round. We're about halfway through this second round here.
And on the feet, as you said, there seems to be a little bit of hesitation about what to do after maybe dodging the first strike from Keshtov by Hudgens. But he looks a little bit more comfortable on the ground in this round than he did in the first round.
I think so. I
don't know
Still
that
not
he's
in a good
much
position.
more of an advantageous position. That's exactly right. But he definitely doesn't look as panicked or worried.
Well, and I think the referee getting ready to stand him back up again here,
I think
too.
he's telling them they need to have some more activity. Absolutely right.
Well, and I think if you're Hudgens, though, do you want to keep this on the ground now? Or because as you just pointed out, at the beginning of this round, I said this is where Hudgens wants to have it. But now I'm not so sure.
Well, I would think if I was Hudgens, I would want to be on the ground, but I would want to be where Keshtov is. I would want to be in his guard or his half guard, or more advantageously to me in side control or in full mount. I don't think on his back, keeping his guard closed is where he wants to be with Keshtov. But Keshtov also is not as active from the top in this round as he was in that first round.
And you got to wonder if he spent, how much energy did he spend in that first round?
Absolutely.
Got about 1 minute and 20 seconds left here in round number 2. One more round to come if it makes it the distance.
And in contrast to the first round, you see that they're now in Lupe Hudgens' corner where he's able to get direct instruction from his corner.
Referee's going to stand him up.
And we're going to stand him up and see what happens.
So we'll see if Hudgens wants to keep
and
it on
Hudgens
his
looks
feet.
a little apprehensive again as they stand on the feet. It's sort of a half-hearted punch and then a duck.
Well,
but he shoots in for the double leg, and that may be what he's doing, Andy. Nice knee to the midsection as Keshtov takes it back to the cage.
Takedown.
And a double takedown right there. Scooped him up and put him down.
Nice takedown by Keshtov, and that's going to get him some points once again with the judges. And it looks like he's got a guillotine attempt. I don't know if he has it locked in.
It doesn't look like he has it all the way around, and Hudgens has control of the right wrist of Keshtov as he's trying to wrap it around. Kestov's continuing to work.
It could be locked in. Nope. Keshtov let it go.
He abandoned the attempt, but now he's almost to the back.
There's the guillotine
attempt again. And then he snuck back around. And now then
he's got both arms locked.
He does, and the only thing Hudgens can do is tuck his chin and try to get out.
And all he has to do is hang on. 10 seconds left in round number 1. We're down to 5 seconds. We'll see if he can hang on and get to the buzzer, and there it is. Saved by the horn.
But that's 2 rounds in a row that he was very disadvantageous as the horn blew.
Well,
at the end of the first round, Keshtov was standing over him, raining down punches.
I don't think there's any question, Aaron, right now. Hudgens' corner is telling him, hey, we've got to get a knockout.
You have to finish this fight.
We have got to get a knockout. It cannot go to the judges or this guy's going to win.
That's correct. Submission or knockout is the only chance at least on my scorecard, that Lupe Hudgens has to be victorious in this fight.
But, man, that's thinking about who we're talking about here in Alexander Keshtov. That could be a long shot.
It could
because
be.
It's big risk, big reward. Yeah, you could get that home run punch, but in throwing that home run punch.
Look at Lupe Hudgens. Pacing back and forth, looks determined. And if you're Keshtov's corner, do you tell him you're ahead on the scorecard? All you have to do is survive this round.
I think so.
So take him to the ground, lay on top of him again, and be just active enough to not get it stood up because we don't want you to catch a stray punch. I don't know that that's the strategy, but I wonder if that's what he was told.
Keshtov coming out of his corner a little early. The referee told him to go back. The fighters meet in the middle. Couple of kicks off the mark. Ooh, nice duck there of a kick from Keshtov.
Well, these guys are not being timid in this last round, and as we said, we knew Lupe Hudgens would not be.
Keshtov, nice sprawl there, and actually kind of reversed it, and has got Hudgens now on
Hudgens
his
got
back.
that arm wrapped around. I don't think it's all the way under. No, it's not.
He's trying to get it there, but Keshtov is doing a pretty good job of keeping him from getting that guillotine locked in. He's got his head locked for sure. Just can't get the other arm in there. He can't get it underneath to crank it. Let's see if he can get it here.
Everything we've seen from Lupe Hudgens this round, though, has been an attempt at a submission to try to win this fight, as we said. Keshtov's trying to pull his head out, duck his head and pull it out, and he made Hudgens give up the attempt. But now he's trying for a Kimura. Right there.
And it looked like he almost has it, and then he lost it again.
Keshtov got out of it.
But a nice transition from submission to submission.
Absolutely. This is the
by
best
Hudgens.
round we've seen from Hudgens.
I know his corner's going, where has this been at? Keshtov still in the same spot he's been in for the majority of this fight, and that's in the closed guard of Hudgens. And you got to wonder if the referee's going to start to stand him up here soon.
Well, we'll see what happens. They got in this situation 2 other times in this fight, and they've been stood up both times.
Both fighters just kind of catching their breath, it looks like.
And both times they were stood up, that's when Keshtov took advantage toward the end of the round and absolutely swarmed on Lupe Hudgens.
Well, again, back in the closed guard.
But once again, not as much activity in this round as even the other 2 rounds from Alexander Keshtov.
Couple of left hands of Keshtov land squarely on the face of Hudgens. And, once again, they're short punches and you're sitting down, not a lot of power, but they don't feel good.
Right around the time we're halfway through this final round, Andy, I think if you're Lupe Hudgens' corner, you've got to encourage him to finish.
And I think Hudgens has got a small cut on the bridge of his nose.
I see it right there. So some of these strikes from Alexander Keshtov have done a little bit of damage to the bridge of the nose of Hudgens.
Both fighters still, again, I think we're at a point where the referee should stand them up.
Absolutely.
He's not. There's 2 minutes left in this fight, and if you're Keshtov, you're content to just lay there and let it go, go on.
Yeah, at this point, I think you want to play it a little bit safe and not get caught with a punch and definitely not do anything from this position where you could get caught in some kind of a submission. So he's got his head tucked, his chin tucked, his head down, and doing what appears to be just enough to keep the fight from being stood up.
And he's throwing those lefts, and they are catching Hudgens right on the side of the chin. See Hudgens there. He's got him completely wrapped up now in closed guard.
Referee is watching him closely. I wonder if we're close to a stand-up
He
here.
has got him completely locked, closed up in closed guard right now. Doing a good job working his hips. And keeping Keshtov, away from trying to pass into another position.
Absolutely, but
there he's going to stand
him up. He's seen enough on the ground.
1:15 left.
We'll see how this plays out for Hudgens because he's got to go right here if he wants to have a chance at this fight, I believe.
Caught a couple of punches from Keshtov as they hit the cage.
And once again, what does Keshtov do? Keshtov takes him down.
Well, and there's another guillotine attempt, though.
Maybe. He's got an overhook with his right hand.
He is cranking.
Yes, he is. He's got it in there.
Oh, Keshtov in a position to try to slam him down.
Though.
I thought Keshtov was going to attempt to slam there.
That's hard with that one arm in, especially with a fighter as sweaty as Keshtov is, and so is Hudgens at this point. hard to keep that locked in and keep it under there and not let your opponent slip his head out from underneath.
About 30 seconds left. We're back in close guard position. Keshtov, I think, is gonna come away with a victory by decision, unless in the next 20 seconds, Lupe Hudgens can get off his back and.
But you never know, Andy. As we saw in our last fight, the view from over here may not. There's that up kick that could be dangerous, but the view from over here may not be the same as it is at those judges' tables around that cage.
And less than 10 seconds left. Keshtov just throws a couple of kicks for good measure, and there we go. And a nice show of respect there, though, from Keshtov and Hudgens. Keshtov
absolutely
kind of helping Hudgens up there.
These guys laid it out, and Keshtov is tired. All right, Andy, we'll see what the decision is. I have it 30-27 for Alexander Keshtov.
And I don't see how it can be anything other than Keshtov. He was in control the whole fight. You know, didn't do anything spectacular, but at the end of the day, he was more efficient, more aggressive, and I think did the most damage between the two fighters. So, again, our three judges tonight, David Dyer, Wes Kraft, and John Webb, are going to be deciding the winner of this fight. I'd like to mention a benefit tournament that is going to be in BB, and it's being put on by the BB Martial Arts Group. July 12th at the ASU BB Gym. It's for Barrett Stark. He's got ALL leukemia, and got some great people helping him out with that. Anyway, the benefit tournament, July 12th. Check it out on Facebook. Just search BB Martial Arts. Decision should be in from the judges. We're going to send it down here to Billy Lamb, our ring announcer, and then kick it over to our man Aaron Hapcock for a word with the winner.
All right, how about a big round of applause for both fighters? It's not very often you see this kind of skill in Arkansas, and I think the heat's just a little too much for him, to be honest with you. Your winner by unanimous decision, in the red corner, Alexander!
Can you interpret for me and him? Yeah. Okay. Alexander, that was a great fight, a lot of great groundwork. Can you tell us a little bit about your plan coming into this fight?
Ты, говорит, провел хороший бой, что внизу, что сверху. То есть скажи, говорит, расскажи, говорит, нам об этом бое.
Я могу сказать, что я благодарен Всевышнему, что он мне дал эту победу. Во-вторых, благодарен всем своим тренерам, не буду их перечислять. И спасибо моим друзьям, кто меня поддерживал. Без них, наверное, не получилось. Ну все по воле Всевышнего. Спасибо.
I just very proud for the God. He's helped me and all my friends, all my coaches, and he's very happy. And thanks for guys for organization. As everything is very good. He's happy.
It looked like you were definitely stronger on the ground. Did you feel like you had the advantage on the ground and standing up?
Ты, говорит, себя чувствуешь, смотришься, как ты больше, лучше внизу, как, говорит, ты скажешь, ты, говорит, сверху или снизу? Ну,
В принципе, и там получается. Соперник был сильный, поэтому пришлось побороться. Вот так.
You know, depends the situation, how is opponent, you know, so everything's look like you gotta play.
Well, congratulations and good luck to you in the future, sir.
All right. Я, говорит, благодарю и удачи в будущем.
Alexander Keshtov, ladies and gentlemen.
There you have it, Alexander Keshtov, all the way from Russia. The Russian Army combative champion for the last 3 years in a row, gets a win here tonight at Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 3. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe we're getting ready for another intermission. Still got 2 fights left on the card tonight, so don't go anywhere. Ryan Wall taking on Zamarius Tucker. And our main event of the evening, Tyler Smith versus another of the Russian fighters, Hussein Khalid. We'll have that fight coming up for you next here on Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds Tour.
Make no mistake about it, business is a race. The faster you deliver, the better. These days, old school is getting schooled. Northeast Arkansas is now doing business at quantum speed. Introducing Quantum, only from Ritter Communications. Try to keep up.
Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock back here in the BC Lloyd Building, Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Ground 3. You're watching right here on Tubetown Channel 21, and no intermission yet. Going to do that in between our main event
and this co-main.
And this co-main event. Right
Absolutely.
now, the co-main, Ryan Wall makes his way to the ring right now.
My name's Ryan Walls. I'm fighting at light heavyweight, 205 pounds. My fighting system is Peak Submission. Fighting out of St. Mary's, Ohio. Coached by Jody Poff. He's the founder of Peak Submission Shootbox Academy. Former professional fighter. He's been all over the world, Russia, Finland, part in Canada, a couple down south. We integrate everything. He's actually certified crew in Muay Thai, so Muay Thai is our big base. And we branch out and cross-train with a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms, so I'd say we're pretty well-rounded. A lot of our guys in our gym are pretty well-developed wrestlers, so we bring the total game and we look for that finish every time. It's like every dream come true. I grew up watching movies, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Sylvester Stallone. That's something I always looked up to and idolized as a youth, and I feel like I'm living that. I'm busting my ass in the gym, I'm training hard, I'm disciplining myself on what I'm eating, staying away from the party scene. It's just everything integrated into being the best person that you can be with the abilities that you've been given.
And man, this is a large guy. Ryan Wall, that is a big man.
Yes, sir. There's a lot of human beings standing right there.
No doubt about it.
Andy, I have to tell you, that interview was a new experience for me. I have never done an interview through an interpreter, but those guys could have been more accommodating and more gracious, and my hat's off to Alexander Keshtov. That was a great fight.
It was indeed.
He is a heck of a fighter.
No doubt. Hope we get to see him again sometime soon. Ryan Wall in the ring right now. Zamarius Tucker is making his way out here momentarily. Again, this is our co-main event.
I'm LaMarcus the Freight Train Tucker. I fight the 205 lightweight heavy division. Man, I do anything, brawl, big, anything, whatever. You see me standing up, see me on the ground, it's whatever. Freight train coming. I train in Batesville, Arkansas, Without Limits MMA. My coach is Matt Sellers. My jiu-jitsu coach is Josh Hudson. And we work in the top gyms here in Arkansas. Most definitely, I like to put out a shout out to my children, my oldest daughter, Marina, my second, Taraya, my little man, Juju, to my wife, I love you, to all the fight fans out there, support MMA everywhere, support Freight Train, support everything that's dealing with mixed martial arts, Grove and Proving Grounds, everybody, let's get it, baby, Freight Train coming. Y'all get your tickets, it's going down.
And again, we're going to have 3 5-minute rounds in this fight. Man, both of these guys got a lot of size on them. Got a lot of size on them. Ryan Wall, Zamarius Tucker. Tucker going to be fighting out of the red corner wearing the black trunks with blue trim. Getting Vaseline on his face right now. And again, that is for cut purposes, just to try to keep the blows from cutting you on the face. Try to glance them off as much as possible. Tucker in the ring, as is Wall. We're going to send it down to our ring announcer, Billy Lamb, and he will announce both of our fighters here in our co-main event. Should be a good one. All of the fights so far tonight have been great. We've only had 2 go to decision. 2 of them have ended in the first round, and the other has been a second round.
All right, introducing first, In the blue corner, from Peak Submission.
All right, got both of our fighters in the ring now.
All right, Andy, I'm ready for another great fight. And as we spoke earlier, Bellator fighter Mike Wessel cornered one of his fighters. Mike Wessel's opponent, Justin Frazier, is cornering Zamarius Tucker right now. So both the guys who are fighting each other at a Bellator pay-per-view in a week from now are here tonight, each cornering different men in different fights.
Well, Tucker in the black trunks with blue trim, Wall in the orange trunks, and there you saw early on here in the first round, Tucker backpedaling. Nice body kick there, nice catch though from Wall. Now Wall has his back up against the cage. A lot of body weight being thrown around with these two guys.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to see excessive quickness in this fight, but that's okay. I can relate to two big men fighting it out in the cage, Andy.
We'll see if Tucker can get a takedown here. It looks like that's what he's trying to do, but wow, big slam up against the cage.
Double overhooks there from Tucker for a moment.
But now Wall.
Looks like he's trying to get an advantage and spin it around and put Wall up against the cage, just like that.
Tucker
Once
trying
again,
to
these
stay
guys
busy.
seem to be content to clinch.
Absolutely. Not staying very busy here. I mean, just trading knees back and forth with each other now. And Wall caught a big one in the gut there from Tucker just a moment ago.
This fighting style is very reminiscent of what Randy Couture used to do. He used this to his advantage a lot, the clinch up against the cage, a little dirty boxing. Wall turns it back around and puts Tucker up against the cage.
Now Tucker trying to get out of that. Now he's got double underhooks. So a lot of back and forth here between these two.
And then Tucker reverses it again. These guys are definitely playing a chess game.
Ooh,
look at that slam.
Big takedown, but now Wall.
But Wall
already
rolled
back
with that.
on his feet. But now look at his hit. I was going to say Tucker looked like he had a pretty good chance at a guillotine there. Big slam from Tucker.
That was a great show of strength by Zamarius Tucker. But Ryan Wall kind of rolled with that and put Tucker at sort of a disadvantageous position. But then Tucker was able to ride himself and get up. So that is a pretty good body mechanics by both our fighters right there.
Absolutely. A nice exchange. Wall showed a lot of prowess there, just hopping right back on his feet. Now they're back in the position they were right before that happened. Ryan Wall back up against the cage. Now he reverses it. We have seen nothing but that so far outside of that slam.
In the clinch up against the cage has been the theme of this first half of this first round, Andy.
Two fighters just muscling to get position on one another, and here we go, another reversal.
Tucker with some body shots there.
Taking turns. And there's a takedown. Well, I wouldn't really
Wall
call
sort
that
of
a
falls
takedown.
into and puts Tucker in half guard.
Looks like Wall just went to the ground.
It looked
with
like
him.
he was going to try another slam or maybe a throw, and maybe Tucker countered it a little bit with a shift in his body weight and his hips, and Wall didn't have a lot of choice because his momentum was already carrying him backwards, so he ended up putting half guard on Tucker.
Now Tucker trying to switch it into full guard. And Wall's doing a really good job of holding him here in this position. Tucker's
trying to work, and he had an opening for just a minute. I thought he was going to try to go to side control, but instead he decided to go into the closed full guard of Ryan Wall.
Well, and Tucker's corner is over here shouting instructions at him as well. And I think right now Tucker's probably winning this round. It's very close to call, but I think because of the slam, well, it looks like Wall
did a decent job getting out, but he took a shot as he pulled away.
He did, and now his back is up against the cage. Took some body blows there too, and a big knee, and
another knee.
one.
He tries a single leg takedown. I thought maybe he would try to switch that to a double,
and
but look at the sprawl by Zamarius Tucker.
Absolutely, that's what I was just going to say. A nice sprawl there by Tucker, and it kept Wall from getting in there and attempting a takedown via legs. So now Tucker with his body weight on top of the back of Wall.
Final minute of the round, Andy.
And it's been an interesting one. Again, a very difficult one, I think, for the judges to try to come up with a winner for this one.
These guys trading shots now.
And I
Wall
think
may be wounded a little bit.
I think Wall might just be out of breath. And he just grabbed Tucker by the neck again and brought him down to the canvas. I think this might be where.
Looked like he might be trying for an arm bar. Wasn't in a great position to maybe pull that arm over.
He was trying to get a Kimura with his legs.
Maybe a little bit. I thought he was maybe going to try to catch Tucker's arm and maybe catch Tucker where he could pull that arm around and put him in an arm bar. And Tucker says, why don't you just stand up, my man?
Yeah, Wall wanted him to go back down to the mat, and he didn't do it.
Oh, a nice overhand right on the way in by Wall.
Tucker's trying to get another slam here, and he finds himself with his back against the cage, and that'll do it for round number 1.
Well, that was a better finish right there from Ryan Wall.
Absolutely. I was going to say, let's give this one to Tucker, but now I'm not so sure. I think the aggressiveness there at the end of that first round was great for Wall.
A little bit of blood we just saw wiped off the nose of Ryan Wall. I think Tucker won that round overall. I like the way that Ryan Wall finished that round, though. That was a pretty strong finish, considering he spent a lot of that round on his back. And both these guys have worked hard in the first 5 minutes of this fight, Andy.
But look at the difference in posture right now. Tucker, right now with his arms on his hips, his hands on his hips, standing straight up. Meanwhile, in the other corner, Ryan Wall, hands on his knees.
It's like he's waiting out the first free throw of 2 there at the
He does. He
on
looks like
the side of the lane there.
He's waiting for somebody to pass him the ball so he can shoot the free throws.
He's using that cage a little bit too.
I think he definitely got worked a lot more than Tucker did in round number 1, and we'll see if that cut he has continues to open up. I don't know if it was a cut so much as it was blood from the nose.
I think it was just blood from the nose, and it looked like his right elbow may have a small cut on it too. But I don't know that it's anything major at this point. Hard to tell from our vantage point. Maybe a little bit of swelling under Wall's left eye.
I think so, absolutely. Now here we go with round number 2.
Right Tucker, to the jaw by Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker did a pretty good job landing a couple of blows on that
Tucker's
exchange.
active with his head there.
Nice kick. Now Wall, he looks like, I was going to say, it looked like Wall wanted to get a little aggressive and go inside there, but he backed out, and now here's Tucker being the aggressor. And again, Wall.
He pulls guard again.
Wall, you got to wonder if Wall likes to be on the ground a little bit. You got to wonder if he favors maybe his jiu-jitsu a little bit more than he does his stand-up. But that you often see that students of jiu-jitsu favor the guard rather than
Absolutely, because
stand-up.
they feel confident that they can pull a submission or sweep their opponent over and get in full guard and maybe do some ground and pound. But right there to that nose again, we see blood again coming from the nose of Ryan Wall.
And you see the referee telling Wall to let go of the cage. He's got the cage with his feet.
That's okay, as long as he doesn't grab it with his hands.
It looked like he was grabbing it with his toes.
But that's perfectly legal. He can have his toes on the cage, but he can't reach out and grab it with his hand.
Well, here's one thing I was going to say about about being a student of jiu-jitsu. You do often see them, fall down to their back in guard as opposed to standing up. But one thing you often see them do is go to the butterfly guard. We haven't seen Wall do that yet. So you wonder if that's really what he wants to do or
look
not.
Right there on his right leg where those kicks from Demarius Walker have made
red
whelps and bruises on the right leg. That's what we talked about earlier with where you want to target with your kicks if you're going to go to the outside of the leg of your opponent. And that's the lead leg of Ryan Wall when he's standing.
Look at Wall and Wall
because
again.
he's a conventional stance fighter. And notice him have to push himself up because I would imagine that left thigh is hurting. What a spinning back kick to the head that was blocked partially by Ryan Wall.
Well, and you see, as you mentioned, a little bit. Oh, good counter there by Wall. Wall anticipated that move.
Tucker's attack is definitely appearing to take some toll on Ryan Wall. And he tries to go back to the ground with a takedown. Now a little bit of a turtle.
Looked like a knee to the head there. Wall is definitely starting to mouse up a little bit underneath that right eye. He's definitely starting to bruise up a little bit. Big knee to the midsection.
To the ribs.
And that had to do some work.
A lot of heavy breathing there by Ryan Wall, too.
And Tucker's just going to let him lay there.
Tucker says, I'll back up, and you'll have to stand up. And I think standing up right now is where Tucker wants Wall.
Absolutely.
Wall doesn't look comfortable on the feet right now. He's bleeding
not.
from both sides of his nose.
Very slow.
Very telegraphed spinning back kick. But I don't know if I could do this for 7 minutes and even be able to execute a spinning back kick, to be honest with you, Andy. A little bit of offensive action from Wall.
Hey, nice combo there. The
shot
Wall's
to
hurt.
The midsection. Did he take a low blow? or did he take a shot to the liver?
I don't know.
I believe it's over.
Shot to the midsection, and down goes Wall. He's still on the mat in pain.
He may have caught him in the liver.
Referee checking with him right now. As is Tucker. Nice show there by Tucker. We're going to send it down to our ring announcer, Billy Lamb, to figure out what happened, and then our man, Aaron Hathcock, will shed a little bit more light on it as well. Wall is writhing in pain right now, still breathing heavily. You can see his body shaking as he breathes in and out. Big shot to the midsection from Zamarius Tucker, and he is going to come away with a TKO victory with about 3 minutes and 2 seconds gone by in the second round. Down to Billy Lamb.
And your winner from the red corner, without limits own, LaMarcus Tucker!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. All right, let's talk to our winner, LaMarcus Tucker. At the end of that fight, he wanted to keep staying on the ground, and you kept saying, let's get up and let's go. Was that what you wanted to do, was keep it standing?
Yes, sir. We big boys. Me, you throw them hands. Lay that on that ground stuff for them little dudes. Hands around here. We throw them hands standing up. Let's get it.
I understand. Was that what you wanted to do the whole fight, was stay standing the entire fight?
Yes, sir. I've been working on my boxing, you know what I'm saying, all week. Coach say, Tuck, when you go out there, let them hands go. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I came to do. You know what I'm saying? I came to put on a show for you people, you fans. I like to put a shout out to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because without him, I'm nothing. And I thank you. I thank him for my wife, my kids, my fight team, and y'all better understand this today, baby. Freight train coming.
Congratulations on the great win.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
God bless you.
Let's hear it for him, everybody. Give it up.
All right, well, Marcus Tucker, apologize about the mix-up on his name. Well, Marcus Tucker, the winner, via technical knockout in the second round at the 3-minute, 2-second mark. So it is time for our intermission before our main event. Tyler Smith taking on another Russian fighter, Kushain Khalid. We'll have that fight coming up for you next after this short break right here on Tubetown, Channel 21.
Watch your head.
Watch out, Bernie.
It's fun hunting with your buddies, but it's really fun when you get limped with your buddies.
I've got a special technique where I just wait for the big bull.
Yeah, baby.
Andy Manus here with Tubetown Channel 21, here with Justin Frazier. He is a Bellator fighter, and Justin, it's my understanding you're getting ready for a match this coming Saturday. Is that right, at Bellator 120?
Yes, sir, the pay-per-view event with Rampage Jackson out of Memphis. He's fighting King Mo. Eddie Alvarez was going to be fighting Michael Chandler. He backed out, but they're still going to be on the card. Tito Ortiz is on that card, so it's going to be a big event.
Well, for you, what does it mean to be fighting so close to where your camp is? I mean, you fight out of Batesville. The fight is going to be in South Haven. What does it mean for you to have that fight so close to your camp?
Well, the guy I'm fighting, he's close too, so we're going to have a lot of local support. And I love fighting in front of my friends and family. I mean, it's a more incentive to perform well. You know, I don't want to lose in front of my friends and family foremost. And you know, the guy I'm fighting, we have a personal vendetta anyway, so it just gives me the drive to, you know, want to take care of business close to home. Last time I fought for Bellator, it was 11 hours away. I didn't like that. I did well, I won, but I look forward to performing close to the house.
Well, you're obviously here tonight at a local event here at Cage Combat Championship, Global Proving Grounds 3. For you, what does it mean to have these kinds of local events for you know, up and coming fighters? How big is that for these young fighters trying to develop their style and their skills?
Well, I started out in small local shows too. I win 13-1 as an amateur. I lost my very first amateur fight, kept fighting small local shows like this, started being the main event towards the end of them, fought my first pro fight 8 fights ago, and from then on I've been just carried on. I mean, you got to start small and go somewhere. It's not like you're going to first fight ever going to be in the UFC. And you got to support local MMA, because without support for local MMA, you got no big MMA.
Well, and you actually had a guy fight tonight, our last fight, LaMarcus Tucker. He was a winner. How does that make you feel to see your training partner come away with a win here tonight?
LaMarcus Tucker is going to be one of the best 205ers, definitely out of the Midwest. I mean, the guy's solid everywhere. His ground game's salty. He likes to stand and bang. He's got a chin. And as you saw tonight, his body shots are ruthless. I mean, he can wear a guy out.
Absolutely floored his opponent a minute ago with a liver punch. I don't want to be on the receiving end of that, but you're a training partner with him. This is something that you do every day with this guy.
We wear each other out. I mean, when we leave, we're both beaten, limping when we're done training, and we do it 5-6 days a week.
Well, let's talk a little bit about getting prepared for the fight. Oftentimes in sports, when you're getting ready for an opponent, you watch game film or anything like that. Does that translate over into mixed martial arts? Do you watch tapes of your opponent before you get ready to fight them?
Every day. You better believe it. Fighters have, like you said, their own style, and with style comes technique that they've developed. You can see flaws in their style, flaws in their technique, and you want to take advantage of that. So I look and watch film every day. One benefit I've got, a lot of my fights I've had moved off YouTube. I mean, I don't let them on there. And the one that I've got on there is 4-second knockout. Pick something up from that. I mean,
just to let your opponent know what you're getting into.
Exactly.
Hey, I've knocked the guy out in 4 seconds before.
Exactly.
Well, Justin Frazier again fighting this coming weekend, Bellator 120, South Haven, Mississippi, fighting against an Arkansas heavyweight rival of his. Justin, appreciate you coming on today, and great luck to you this weekend at your match.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks so much. Justin Frazier, I'm Andy Maness. We'll be back with the main event here at Cage Combat Championship, Global Proving Grounds 3. You're watching it right here on Tubetown, Channel 21.
You hear the haters, baby. You hear the haters. He has some hooks. Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to come in the ring. I'm going to show you what the TCW champion do.
Yes. Big tackle. Nobody pulls the plug on Alan Steele.
He's saying that's it. This
Almost
is
too much.
Steel trap. He's trapped. He's still trapped.
Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock back here at the VC Lloyd building, getting ready for our main event of the evening here at Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 3. Couldn't do this without AA Productions, bringing the best pro fighters to Northeast Arkansas. So big thanks to them. And right now, one of those pro fighters making his way to the ring, Tyler Smith.
My name's Tyler Smith. I fight Orthodox. I weigh 165. Fighting ain't fighting. Transforming bodies. I know Memphis, Tennessee. So as I bring excitement, yeah, come out and see me fight.
He is making his way in the hexagon as we speak. And man, got to be excited for our main event this evening. Tyler Smith taking on who our man James calls the best fighter here tonight, Kushain Khalif.
Kushain Khalif, I believe.
He said there's an L in there somewhere, so it might be Kushain.
Kushain Khalif. How about that? We'll go with that. I don't know.
I like the name. It's a daunting name.
He doesn't even need a nickname.
Apparently, I think they called him Double K or 2K
K
or
squared. I don't know.
Something along those lines. I can't remember.
But we've had the Irish Grim Reaper. You know, it could be he's going to be the Russian Grim Reaper. We'll have to see.
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
And then we had Freight Train.
Absolutely. With a great interview. That's how you do self-promotion when you win an MMA fight.
There's
right there.
no doubt. No doubt. But I think, dare say, best interview ever?
One of.
One of?
We had an interview a few shows ago where the fighter took the mic out of my hand and thanked everybody.
That's true, he did.
That probably would be number one.
Last one is a matter of fact.
Exactly right. But that was a close good one that was a close second by the Freight Train for sure.
Khalif making his way to the ring right now.
My name is Hussein Khalif. Я сам родом с Грозного. Тренируюсь под руководством Мурата Кештова. В данный момент занимаюсь в Нью-Джерси в клубе Кейдодж. Всем болельщикам хочу сказать спасибо большое за то, что вы поддерживаете меня, за то, что болеете за меня, болейте за нас, иншаллах, мы покажем себя в лучшей форме, иншаллах.
Откуда ты?
Я родом сам с Грозного, я уже говорил. Сам с Грозного. Стиль у меня, стиль цапли. Конечно, я чувствую большую ответственность, так как за меня болеет очень много ребят с России. Да и, можно сказать, со всего мира у нас ребята во всем мире живут. Чувствую большую ответственность, хочу показать себя в их глазах, то есть оправдать их надежды. Я хочу сказать большое спасибо всем фанатам, моим болельщикам, болельщикам моего соперника, да и всех, кто болеет за ММА. Большое спасибо вам за то, что вы поддерживаете нас.
Okay. Good.
He's going to be fighting out of the red corner. He'll have the red tape on his gloves. He's fit, man. Look at him. He's ready to go.
Absolutely. Well, if
hey,
his skills,
Tyler Smith, you know, he looks fit as well. So
I anticipate a great fight here, and if Hussein Khalif's fight, if his skills are in the neighborhood of his countryman Alexander Kestov that we saw earlier, this should be a great fight.
I'm just excited about his name more than anything else.
It was
to
a
be honest
pleasure to
with
watch
you.
Alexander Kestov fight a while ago, though.
It really was.
Man knows how to fight.
It really was,
his technique
absolutely.
is incredible. It was a privilege to be able to watch that fight.
Yeah, keep that name in mind.
There's
you could see him
Alexander
in
the
future.
background of this shot right here.
Keep that name in mind because you could see him in the future.
It would not surprise me to see him go to Bellator, perhaps, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him go all the way to the UFC. Alexander Kestov.
And right now, Tyler Smith, you just saw moments ago, staring Khalif down as Khalif made his way around the ring. And there's the stare again from Smith. Smith is just gazing across the hexagon here. And
all right, this is
it's ought to be interesting. Let's send it down to Billy Lamb.
Sanctioned by the Arkansas Athletic Commission. Our judges, Wes Craft, David Dyer, and John Webb. Christina Demir, timekeeper, and Crystal Morrow, the beautiful cut lady. Dr. Roland Hollis right here, and I am your announcer, Big Billy Lamb. Introducing first in the blue corner, from the north side of Memphis, Tennessee, famous fight team, this is Tyler Smith! And his opponent really don't need an introduction, but I'm gonna give him one. He's a bad man. Climb out!
Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock back here for our main event.
Big Billy Lamb with a different pronunciation of Khalif's name.
Yeah, I think he said it how it's spelled.
But that's okay. I think everybody.
Did he call him Quinn Khalif?
I'm not sure. We're going to go with Khalif until we find out differently.
I think it's probably a good idea.
And here we go, Andy.
Again,
main event of the evening.
3 5-minute rounds. Tyler Smith in the black trunks. Hussein Khalif in the yellow trunks.
Wow.
And he missed a big kick.
He threw a head kick, missed it, and went right for a takedown.
And he got it. And right now he's inside control.
He sure is.
And now you see him throwing an elbow across the face.
That was a lot of quickness by Khalif, too.
Tyler Smith trying to keep those hips active and trying to do anything he can do to keep Khalif from passing into full mount.
Possibly full mount. And now he goes into the full guard of Tyler Smith.
Full guard is a nice job there by Smith getting him to that position. And now Smith's trying to get back on his feet, it looks like. Khalif goes to standing guard. We saw this a lot with Kestov.
Yes, we did.
Oh, he's got his leg. Smith has got his leg. He's attempting a submission
a knee
here.
bar, I believe.
We'll
Perhaps
see if he
a
gets
heel
it.
hook. It's hard to tell from here.
And he let it go either way, and he also gave up his back in the process. and Khalif is going straight for the rear naked.
Khalif looks like he may,
Does he have it?
Not
he doesn't.
yet.
No, he doesn't have it quite
right there,
locked
Smith
in.
has his chin tucked, but Khalif is trying to work for it. If he could sit down and maybe get both hooks around Tyler Smith's waist, he might have a little more leverage to work that in.
And it's still very early on here in round number 1, so Tyler Smith has got a lot to, try to avoid right now.
Absolutely,
with
he's
this
got some work to do from this position right
this
here.
This much time left in the match.
There's
again,
one hook in right there from Khalif.
And he let it go.
Well, there comes a point when and he goes
there
right
he
back
goes,
to it.
And he got it too.
Maybe trying to
I think
distract
he got
him.
it.
He's got both hooks in, too.
I think he got it.
I think so. He's definitely applying some torque. Smith rolls over.
And it looks like Smith might be trying to go for
Khalif's
another
got
roll.
his arms locked into each other.
Smith might be trying to go
Smith's
for
trying
another
to roll
roll.
over. We hear the
Khalif,
instructions from Khalif's corner in Russian.
That's what I was just about to say. And
But
now
he
here
goes
at
to
full mount.
And like we said, Tyler Smith was in a bad position almost no matter what he did.
And now I think the arm is hooked.
I think but once again, Smith rolls over, full guard to it, rear naked. If you're Tyler Smith, you got to get to a position where you can buck your hips maybe and get Khalif bucked off of you.
There's no doubt about it. And
He's
right
got to
now,
work his hips, Andy.
And he gives it up again. Gives up his back.
Be careful of those strikes to the back of the head, though.
And there,
I thought he was going to try to slide out the back door, and he may still be trying to attempt that. But once again, he's got his chin possibly exposed.
I was going to say he's in a bad position as far as rear naked chokes go because he left himself wide open right there. And I'm honestly surprised Khalif didn't pounce on that opportunity. It could have been over.
Absolutely. Khalif may have had something else in mind.
And
but
there
once
it
again,
is.
he works again.
I think he's got it in.
Yeah, this is going to be
He's
tough
got
right
it
here.
in.
And I don't know that we may not see. Khalif is just a little bit off to the side because Smith has turned back over again. So we'll go back to the full mount pummeling.
And there's still about 1 minute and 30 seconds left here in round number 1. So Smith is definitely digging a deep hole here.
Smith's got to defend himself. I know he's taking a lot of punishment, and what he runs the risk of is going back to getting a rear naked choke, tries to slide out the back door, and Khalif puts the hooks in him again. So he flattens out and says, I'm going to try to protect myself. Right there, the referee's saying you have to defend yourself. You have to do something. You have to do something.
And there.
And something
Khalif,
is probably not give up your neck.
Yeah, and Khalif, as I was going to say, looked like he was going back for the neck, and now he's just looking at the referee, and the referee
domination so far, though, by Kushan Khalif.
He's going to have to do something. There's Khalif looking at the
That's
referee
it.
again.
The referee says, I'm done because you didn't defend yourself.
Yep, the match is over. And Tyler Smith out by TKO in the first round.
And Tyler Smith was never really in this fight, I don't think. I think after the introductions, he was done.
I completely agree. And now look at him. Not exactly a happy camper.
Anyone wants to stay and help take down the cage will get free admission next fight.
A little bit of bargaining there, I think, from Billy Lamb, but we're going to send it down to announce the winner, and we'll have a word with our fighter, with Aaron Halfcock. We're going to have to break out the translator once again, but should make for some interesting TV. Send it down momentarily.
Who saw?
Yeah. Okay. Let's get a word with our winner, Hussein Khalif. Hussein, there was really never a moment in that fight when you weren't in control. Did you think you would be completely dominant in that fight like you were?
Ты очень хорошо контролировал эту ситуацию. не давал ему ни одного шанса. Ты думаешь, ты доминировал вообще весь этот бой? Сколько он продлился?
Я считаю, что на все воля Всевышнего Аллаха. Конечно, я считал, потому что все время я находился сверху. То есть мне секунданты мои, Рустам Чесиев, мой друг Альберт, мой друг Кешт, спокойно все подсказывали. Я чувствовал себя.
Thanks God for everything. I know I control this situation on the ground, so I know I will win. Thank you guys who helped me today. It's Rustam Shiev, Artur, Alexander Keshtov, Asker. I'm very happy.
Well, congratulations on your win. It was an excellent fight.
Поздравляем тебя, очень хороший бой.
Thank you very much. I love you, USA. I love you, my mother, my семья, как сказать?
My family.
My family. I love you, Murad Keshtov. I love you, K Dojo. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar.
Hussein Khalif, everyone.
All right, that was our winner, Hussein Khalif and Aaron Hathcock. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will wrap this thing up out here from the BC Lloyd building on the Greene County Fairgrounds. Andy Manis and Aaron Hathcock back with you here on Tubetown, Channel 21, after this.
Make no mistake about it, business is a race. The faster you deliver, the better. These days, old school is getting schooled. Northeast Arkansas is now doing business at quantum speed. Introducing Quantum, only from Ritter Communications. Try to keep up.
Welcome back to Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 3. I'm Andy Manis. This is Aaron Hathcock. And, man, winding up just an awesome night tonight. Got to see two international fighters from Russia come to Paragould, Arkansas, and, man, handle their business in the Hexagon tonight.
Absolutely. 4 pro fights. There were 8 pro fighters here. A good night of fights all the way up and down the card.
Absolutely. Another great job by Global Proving Grounds coming here to Paragould, and an awesome job by AA Productions, again, bringing the best pro fighters here to Northeast Arkansas. So a big thanks to AA Productions. Now it's time that we always love to do this at the end of the fights, is handing out the awards. Fight of the night, submission of the night, and, of course, knockout of the night. You know, I think we'll start with submission of the night. I think you and I both in agreement that the Irish Grim Reaper, Charles Johnson, with a standing guillotine over his opponent, Sean Lynn. The 4th fight of the night, great submission.
Absolutely. He knew what he was looking for. He found the opportunity, and he put it right in there.
Absolutely. And then knockout of the night, definitely our 2nd fight of the night, Tim East with a spinning back fist. I'm going to go ahead and dub it the spinning back fist of death. Knocked his opponent into next week. What else can you say?
There's not anything else you can say. We saw a lot of great knockouts. We saw a TKO via liver punch tonight, but the spinning back fist, that should win every time when you have a spinning back fist.
Points for style alone.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, our fight of the night was one of the international fighters from Russia, Alexander Keshtov. This guy is a Russian Army combative champion 3 years in a row, and he showed his skills tonight here in Paragould, winning in a decision. Went all 3 rounds against Lupe Hudgens, and a great fight from Keshtov tonight.
Those 2 guys put on a great fight, but Alexander Keshtov, it was a pleasure to watch him fight. He did everything he should standing. He did everything he should on the ground. So technical, so precise, and as we've said many times, Andy, he was so cool and calm in the cage that he controlled that fight, and it was a great fight to watch.
Well, just one of the great fights on our card tonight, and just again an awesome night. So that's going to do it for us here from the BC Lloyd building on the Greene County Fairgrounds. Big thanks to everybody who helped make this possible. Again, big thanks to Global Proving Grounds. Big thanks to AA Productions. Big thanks to all of our production crew, Brandon Reed, Richard Bressler, Jeremy Shirley, and, of course, for Aaron Hathcock, I'm Andy Manis. We'll see you next time for another Cage Combat Championship right here on Tubetown, Channel 21.